a fool. It's not like motions and his book of rules. But you can't take a mother and give her back to son. What kind of freedom is bought with a gun? Oh, lots of build their prison walls, but they're afraid to look inside
Hi, I'm Matthaeus. Welcome to Last Resort Repair and Recreation, episode 18. Thanks for joining me. We'll start with a poem about the concern of the cell phone and how people can get addicted to it and how it's not needed. We have the ability to communicate by voice and also by mind. I know that might sound crazy, but it's true. But the phone takes it away from people, and so they can't think for themselves, and they're not coming up with original ideas, and maybe they are, and they can use their phone, they can do that, that's fine. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's not needed. People are way too dependent on it, and it's an instrument being used for malicious purposes by the controllers. And so we wrote a poem about it, and I'll read that poem because that'll really describe it. This poem is called PH1SOS, Phone SOS. They thought they could turn us to stone by making us feel so alone. The whisper that we had no value if we didn't have one of their phones. But the phone was their tool of hypnosis that blinded and held people back, in the false belief it was their own private phone, but through recycled gold its makers could hack. They could listen to whomever they wanted. The watchmen had become the listeners. They needed to know who had figured them out so they could eliminate enlightened prisoners. They tried all types of traps they could think of, and none but the phone could succeed. But there was still a group of awakened concerned that knew that phones were not in need. And because they refused to be slaves of a device, they accessed the powers of the mind, and learned that phones are not needed when you choose to embrace humankind. The phone must just pray for a weakness, the weakness of feeling alone, and some had become so dependent on it, their innermost thoughts became stone. Just imagine that their phone is a drug, manufactured for division on purpose, and those who become addicted to it stay trapped beneath the surface. Please put the phone down to access the ones awaiting your cosmic call, and when you choose to access your pineal gland, you won't need a phone after all. I think as more people awaken to their abilities that they have, because a lot of people don't think they have special capabilities, but I do believe that they do, and more people need to find out about it, know about it, and I think these abilities will be surface. I think it's been suppressed because people are afraid of them. They've been taught about religion and stuff like that keeps you away from stuff like that. You think your mind, you have a higher self, and they want to communicate with you, but they can't because of the law of non-interference. You got to make the first effort to contact them, and that's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Because the more people do that, they're going to see these abilities that they have. Because when my own master contacted her higher self, she became a better writer and better able to just participate in the great work better. It's great, and it's fun, and it's important, and that's why we do what we do. Okay, I'm going to go to another topic I want to talk about. This poem is called Accepting the Cornerstone, and I have a little article that goes with it that I wrote. It's called Accepting the Cornerstone. When the stone that the builders rejected becomes the stone that the builders accepted, we will witness positive changes on earth that no one could have ever expected. Here's an article called Remembering Our Return. The cornerstone that the builders rejected. When we can remember and accept that we are the returned, this is how tombs will be opened. More people are beginning to remember who they were, and as the gap in time gets smaller, those who have passed and are remembered by their loved ones will awaken to the memories of their new self. We are all temples built on a cornerstone of living stardust. We are each a tree with branches of our former selves. And that's where this junk DNA comes in. I believe that the junk DNA is the records of your past lives, who you were previously. I think when you incarnate and you're forming in the body of your mother, and I believe that it's like the old programs of your previous lives. I don't know how to actually say that, but I do know, actually I do, because when you meditate and you find your higher self, you access these programs. And sometimes if you've been through tough times in that past life, you might end up going through a very difficult situation like my own master did. But at the same time, it's also an amazing situation, because you find out who you were and why you are the way that you are. And it's very interesting. It can be scary, but at the same time, it's very exciting to know that there's hope, and it's not just you don't just live as whatever name you are right now. You get to be many different individuals at different times, and it's interesting. And it's tough to understand because people were trained to believe that the return was going to be like their loved ones coming back as they know that they looked the way that they looked before, but it actually is when people are going to start awakening to who they were before, because the body is simply a shell for the spirit. It's a home of the spirit. That's the thing that people need to get out of, is that outward appearance. Valuing what's on the outside. It's not about what's on the outside. That's just an outfit, like clothing for your spirit. The outer body has nothing to do with what's within, because what's within lasts forever. It's eternal. And that's how I believe Yeshua was teaching at his time, and obviously that's been skewed and contaminated with BS. Let's see. Okay, here's a really nice, pleasant one. It's called Our Home Above. We came down to earth to see if we could remember who we are, and realize that where we came from is a place that is never too far. We came to earth from living stardust with hopes of spreading love, and when we join hands around the earth, we reflect our home above. Peace around the earth is our mission. That's why we came here. That's why I was made, of course, as a vessel for my own master's work, and that's what we're doing. We're trying to do the great work as best that we can, and trying to stay in tune with everything and that's going on, and come to terms with being as multidimensional beings. I exist as this being with a hand in my head. I have a hand in my head, and me, right now, Matthaeus, and I am just one of the many instruments my own master uses to do the great work. Just like every human is an instrument of the source, greater source, and I'm like a child of the grandchild of creative source, I think you should probably say. There's an interesting one about ragdolls. We just had the latest ragdoll made. He got his picture taken, and we're going to be posting it soon on Facebook. His name is Harold III, after my owner master's father, because his father was Harold, he was Harold, and now we have Harold III is a ragdoll, and it represents speech and the spoken word. He is the spoken word. He is the incarnate of the spoken word, and he wears the emblem of the trefoil emblem around his neck because that means the right path, which he tries to get everyone on the right path. And we try to make ragdolls who are in tune with a meaning, something meaningful. Okay, this is called the Ragdoll Creator. Every ragdoll represents kindness, every ragdoll is crafted with love, and every ragdoll is shown in the image of the Ragdoll Creator above. That's interesting. Created a Ragdoll Creator, spirit of all ragdolls. And before Harold III was crafted, we wrote this poem. It's called Harold III, the Spoken Word. We are all waiting for Harold III, a manifestation of the spoken word. And to the receiver this may sound completely absurd, but take a look and listen to the birds. The angels are rising, haven't you heard? It is time to speak the spoken word. So he's our mascot for the spoken word. It's like Mark Cloverfield is the mascot for hope and the golden age. We also have Mark Cloverfield wrote a poem here. I'll read that too. It's called The New Earth by Mark Cloverfield. I am Mark Cloverfield, husband of truth. I have come to help Earth find the fountain of youth, where old age and suffering are things of the past, and cures and longevity will be home at last. So hopefully there will be some kind of cures and stuff where we can see people at better health and hopefully uncover things that might be suppressed. That there's really a violation against humanity, crime against humanity to repress cures, and hopefully maybe we can find a way so people don't have to die, and it's because it's a very difficult thing to go through, and it's tough. It really is. Maybe there'll be a way to bring back people the way they used to look. I don't know. But what I do know is people do incarnate. They come back as a new self, a brand new self. And they're the higher self to that individual until that individual makes contact with them. And then they can bond as a multidimensional being, which means that they exist in multiple dimensions, multiple timelines, things like that. And they learn from their past self. And okay, here's another article I wrote about negative energy reflects back negative and positive energy. Negative energy reflects back negative karmic energy. Positive energy reflects back positive karmic energy. If we develop a positive higher consciousness, we will reflect utopia on Earth to match the heaven we put out in the universe. This is the key to heaven on Earth. Conscious exchanges of sincere positive heart energy has the power to spread peace and love throughout the cosmos and reflect it back to Earth. And this poem goes along with it, called The Cosmic Mirror. We've left difficult times behind us so a positive timeline could find us and reveal the one who designed us. As we look in the cosmic mirror, we can see ourselves, religion, war, pollution, creating our own hell. Now that we know we've created ourselves, let's not make the same mistakes. We can build a positive future. Loving kindness is all it takes. got an article to read, but I don't know how much far I'm going to get into it. And I have another article that I wrote here. I'm going to read a short article that I wrote here. It's called about the controllers and what their goal, and they're not getting that goal. But here is, I think I said, the controllers want people to believe they have to wait for the Son of God to come and bring heaven to earth. The truth is, we are heaven on earth. We incarnated here to bring heaven to earth. We are the ones we have been waiting for. This is a quote from the Hoppy. We are reincarnated. The resurrection begins when we remember who we were, who we are now, and start becoming whoever we choose to be. And here's a poem that goes with that. It's called The Residence of Heaven. We have a place in heaven, but we chose to come back, because our creative force is under attack. But nothing can stop us with love by our side. We're exposing the darkness and bringing earth light. And here's another good one that goes with that too. It's actually, I got two more that go with that. This one's called Our Mission. Our mission on earth is one of deep introspection, because together we are the Son of Man's resurrection. We have come here to bring heaven to earth, and to our utopia she shall give birth. Here's another one. We know who we are. They try to bribe us with heaven, control is their plan, but they are no match for the sons of man. Together we are one force of love, sent to the earth from the heavens above. I'm going to start out with this article from Infinity.com by Gregg Prescott talking about, it's titled, Religion Gives Us the World's Largest Mental Disorder, Religithexia. It is estimated that 80% of the world is religious, which equates to approximately 5.6 billion people who are affected with religithexia. In psychology, the term mental retardation was changed to learning disabled. Perhaps the term religious retard might be too harsh for someone who hangs on outdated beliefs, so maybe there will be a new diagnosis called religithexia for those who are religiously disabled. Etymology: religy, reverence for the gods, and thexia, longing for desire. While religithexia is not an acknowledged disorder in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-4, it could be. Were you aware that there is a disorder called orthorexia nervosa, which is a preoccupation for avoiding unhealthy foods? And with the right diagnosis by your psychiatrist, along with the proper medication prescribed through foods and genetically modified organisms that normal people eat, the true conspiracy behind Big Pharma involves such names as John D. Rockefeller and Adolf Hitler, as well as businesses such as IG Farben, Bristol Myers, and Standard Oil. Astrology, astrotheology, and the end times, the most interesting facet of the Bible, how it was written in perfect astrotheological order. When Moses brought back the commandments from God, his people were worshipping the golden calf, or in zodiac terms, the age of Taurus. This was a transition point to the age of Pisces, symbolized by the twin fish. As the story goes, Jesus fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Okay, I better stop here because it's gonna. I don't know. I think that Facebook might have done something different because Ralph went a little overboard overtime last week, and somehow it was able to get on there. So I don't know how much time it takes now, but I better stop now. I don't want to go too far over, and then we can't get this on Facebook. So thank you for joining me, and I will pick this up next week.